Welcome to Contemporary Black Voices. My name is Dr. Sharon Michael Chadwell, and I am one of the hosts of this panel. Today, I also have one of my buddies, Caleb Alexander. Now, Chris Dawkins is also one of the panelists, and he's off today. We in the United States are experiencing some interesting dynamics that we have never experienced before. And one of the conversation pieces that I have been seeing on the internet and Twitter is that we are experiencing a coup. So before we go into that discussion, I want to make sure that everybody understands what is a coup. So a coup, short for coup d'etat, is a sudden and often violent attempt by a small group of people to take over a government. This usually happens when the current government is overthrown by a faction within the military, political, or social elite. The key elements of a coup are its rapid execution and the involvement of insiders who have access to power. So the question now becomes, are we really experiencing a coup? And before we get started, we would like to see you guys hit the like button and the subscribe button so that you will get notice as to when we come on air. So Caleb, are we experiencing a coup?
So yeah, I want to say yes. And because the reason I want to say yes is because we've seen an expansion of executive power that's unprecedented in this country, and so Congress has ceded their authority to this president, and he has kind of pretty much run roughshod over the Constitution. The 14th Amendment guarantees birthright citizenship, which he's run roughshod over. It guarantees due process, which he's run roughshod over. Also, he is disbanding and creating organizations. And so that's something that's definitely within Congress's purview. And the organizations that he is disbanding are organizations that have funds that are allocated by Congress. And so you can't just take money and reallocate it wherever you want to when Congress allocates those funds. And so, and then you have to also take him at his word. He said that this will be the last election that you ever have to have. And he said that he was going to be a dictator. So you have to definitely take him at his word. And so I know there are going to be people saying, well, how is it a coup and he was elected? So you can be initially elected and then become an authoritarian. And that's probably one of the most common ways it happens.
See, I think what a lot of people are missing, yes, he was elected, but the fact that he is allowing, in this case, Elon Musk, who is a social elite, just to go in and take over organizations or like the Department of Education, the Treasury Department, organizations such as USAID, even threatening to stop funding for several federal funds that are giving out to U.S. citizens. It's not the type of coup that we're used to seeing when we were growing up in school, where you saw the soldiers running up, you saw the military people, you know, in their little uniforms taking over. This is a modern day coup where technology is being used, and there are several different pieces of this puzzle to where I think we are experiencing a coup. Now, how Congress, in particular the Democrats, are going to handle this is going to be interesting. A lot of we have a couple of federal judges who have stepped in and put blocks and halts to some of the actions that Musk is doing. But I think the end game is because the Supreme Court gave gave Trump immunity. I think he is purposely doing this to where his actions can be discussed among the Supreme Court, either thumbs up or thumbs down. And we've already seen that our Supreme Court is not strong. You know, they will bow. You know, they have shown to bow down to Trump. Now the question would be is, will John Roberts, who is the Chief Justice, is he going to allow this to be a part of his legacy if and when he retires?
So, I mean, and just, a couple of things also. I think that people have to understand something. The Nazi Party was elected, and they won a repeated number of elections until they won enough elections to win the Reichstag, and which ended up making the head of their Nazi Party, Hitler, chancellor. And so President von Hindenburg had to offer him the chancellorship. Everything they did was legal. They won the election. And it was after they won the election where they completely took power. That's when the laws came in. That's when the stripping the citizenship, and that's when the stripping of rights and the silencing of the media. And so, no, they were duly elected, but what they did after the election. And so what we're seeing here are eerie parallels, you know what I mean, to what happened then. This otherization of people, the stripping of power, the wanting to silence the media, the takeover of the media. You know, some of the every media outlet that people get their information from these days are controlled by these tech billionaire moguls who've all fallen in line. And so, but no, it's important that people understand that. He was elected, so was the Nazi Party, and it's what you do after the election.
Right. So, do we still have time?
Yeah, we have time. We still have 4 minutes.
Okay, you got 4 minutes. So, I think the move that really got everybody's attention was when Elon Musk got access to the
Social Security was a big one.
Got access to the Treasury Department's payment system. Now that was scary. Now there was a judge who put a halt on him being able to manipulate that system. It's a read-only file. But the fact that now that he has and his minions have access to that information puts us in a vulnerable position, because what's going to prevent him or his hackers from selling that information to, like, for example, China, who he has a major business partnership with? What's going to prevent that? What's going to prevent him from giving it to Russia? So we're in a very vulnerable position right now. And I'm not going to lie, it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable because from one day to the next, this puzzle changes.
Yeah, and the other scary thing is also that they've been wanting access to these systems for the longest because they want to disband Social Security. And now they have access to the system, to the payments, to how everything works. They have access to Treasury, to the banking system, which is scary to put in the hands of these guys who now have access to all of your financial information, all of your data, how our banking and financing system works, which opens up to manipulation.
Well, you know, you said they want to disband Social Security.
Oh, yeah.
I think what they really want to do is they've been talking about privatizing Social Security.
Right. The Republicans have, they want initially to disband it, and once they figured out that they could not disband it, they did move to wanting to privatize it. Right. And so
we've got a lot more to say, but we're going to take a break, and we'll see you in a few moments.